Swellendam is a municipality under siege, and not in a way one would think. It is not that we are being attacked and our buildings are being torched and burned down. Well, not this time around. We've been there. We survived September 2023, and we still have the blackened, burnt ruins to remind us daily. The 2023 protest was about free indigent services. The indigent and the not so indigent took to the streets to force municipality and administration to listen to their gripes. If we analyse the events that unfolded during Swellendam's Black September, one would see local and not so local politicians behind the scenes on both sides of the divide, egging on community members. But let us fast forward to September 2024. The torched municipal and Tusong buildings are still used by councillors as a whip to attack one another. 5 from the DA side, 5 from the ANC side, and the kingmaker in the middle, the speaker from the Freedom Front Plus. The blame game is still being played in chambers. The community is told that criminals, those who torched and looted, are behind bars, or that they have been dealt with through the courts. Strange, though, politicians who are just as much of the criminal activities that ensued through the incitement of their supporters, their well-wishers, and the vulnerable communities, are free to verbally continue with their efforts 1 year later. The first shots of the current siege were fired on 25 August. Media reports circulated that the DA faces accusations of attempting to bribe an ANC councillor and prompt him to resign. In doing so, that would trigger a by-election in Swellendam, which the DA felt at the time they would win. According to Khalik Sayed, the Western Cape ANC spokesperson, DA members allegedly offered the ANC councillor 1.5 million rand in cash and an additional 500 rand towards his studies, should he agree to step down. Of course, in turn, the DA denied the allegations as baseless. At the time, the DA was, and still is, the ruling party in Swellendam, with its coalition partner, the Freedom Front Plus. Tensions, however, were already started to show, and according to news sources, the Freedom Front Plus was aligning itself more closely with the ANC. The ANC planned to introduce a motion of no confidence after the bribery story broke. No confidence in the leadership, with the aim of forming a new coalition with the Freedom Front Plus. Sayed stated in a news article that the ANC was ready to co-govern Swellendam with the help of the Freedom Front Plus. The Speaker, Jean van Schalkwyk, also the councillor for the Freedom Front Plus, stated that he had prima facie evidence to support bribery and coercion allegations against the DA, and that his goal is to ensure an urgent investigation process is followed. To date, no mention is made of an outcome of such an investigation or a process that were followed. Swellendam's next political attack was on 17 September 2024, a month later. A motion of no confidence was received in the executive mayor. It was tabled at a council meeting on Monday, 30 September. The motion was proposed and seconded by the ANC side of council. They deemed the executive mayor unfit to stand in office and unable to fulfill its role as mayor. According to the motion, the mayor is unable to oversee completion of infrastructure projects, both as the town executive and as head of the Infrastructure Projects Committee. Allegations were thrown into the mix of irregularities in the tender award process and supply chain, and little is done to investigate such. His so-called ignorance and inability to address concerns about the housing issue, his ineffective leadership, and the fact that he has no financial oversight. The ANC blames the mayor for the riots a year ago, citing that he did not do enough to prevent the damage and the destruction. He failed to listen to the community, it is said. ANC councillors were seeking a new mayor for the benefit of all of Swellendam, a new captain to steer the ship, even if they could not submit any real hard evidence to prove fraud and misconduct allegations against him. The motion against the executive mayor failed. The ANC 5 voted for the motion. The DA 5 voted against, and the Kingmaker, Mr. Speaker, voted with the DA. In a very emotional social media letter, the Speaker told supporters that he had done so on instruction from his party leadership and that he hated himself for doing so or being forced to do so. Well, barely 1 month later, Swellendam Municipality yet again found itself in leadership turmoil. News broke Wednesday, 23 October 2024. At an in-committee meeting, Swellendam Municipal Manager was put on special leave pending an investigation into alleged misconduct. What follows is a political farce. It seems councillors were so eager to play their political trump card to disrupt the leadership in the municipality that they ignored any and all municipal policies and procedures when it comes to processes to be followed when facing disciplinary process at a senior management level. Municipal policy with regard to the appointment of an acting MM has also not been followed. This is how it all played out. At the in-committee meeting, seemingly despite council decision, the Speaker placed the MM on 7 days special leave. She was asked to vacate her office with immediate effect and hand over all electronic equipment relating to her work. This was done purely on accusations, with no real evidence tabled for council and councillors to make an informed decision on the matter. Then entered the council's 14-day, 3 acting municipal managers period. Director Keith Stuurman was appointed as acting MM upon the MM's departure. Shortly after his appointment, he wrote to council to decline this appointment. A list of Swellendam municipal officers were then distributed. They qualified for an acting position and they were put forward to council. On Monday, 28 October, Senior HR Manager Peter Leroux was voted in by the Speaker and ANC councillors. The Mayor, against the appointment of Peter Leroux, requested the MEC of Local Government, Minister Anton Bredau, to review council's actions and to assist with the appointment of a suitable external candidate. The Speaker and Mayor were in total disagreement as to where the responsibility and protocol resides for the appointment of an acting official. The Speaker sees it within his realm, stating that the Municipal Act gives Council the responsibility to appoint an acting official, and that going with an external candidate would be an unnecessary cost. The Mayor, on the other hand, insists that protocol lies within his office, and it's best to involve the MEC of Local Government. This would ensure openness, fairness, and transparency to the process. Peter Leroux attended his first council meeting on 30 October. At an ordinary council meeting wrought with tension and political innuendos, especially when the municipal manager's executive report were tabled, and Mr. Leroux was unable to present the report or deal with any matters relating to the report. The meeting itself was excruciatingly painful to attend and to watch, filled with party caucus breaks and interruptions. All the while, as the political butt-heading continued, Peter Leroux stood down as acting official to be replaced by an external candidate, Ms. Rosalind Saptu. She was duly appointed on Monday, 4 November, and her tenure was effective from Tuesday, 5 November. Ms. Saptu was voted in by the majority of councillors. According to a Freedom Front Party representative, it was not required for the Speaker to cast a deciding vote this time, as DA councillors abstained. Council stated that Ms. Saptu's expertise, her background and experience align well with the municipality's current needs. Her previous local government roles included, amongst others, Senior Audit Manager and Engagement Partner at Swellendam Municipality. Acting MM Subtu was appointed for a 30-day period to allow the MM investigation process to unfold. While this whole political debacle about the acting MM position was playing out, the community is divided. With little information about the MM's case shared with the community, staunch supporters came to her defense, pledging public allegiance. Others accused the Speaker of bullying tactics within meetings directed at the public gallery and outside of council, with his public conduct especially against two women in town. A Barrydale resident took to social media to share transcripts of a very verbal and abusive speaker at one of the council meetings, and another, a businessman and resident, shared open letters to the speaker's party leadership to warn them against the conduct of their party representative. A community petition against the speaker was distributed, spearheaded by concerned business people in the tourism sector. Throughout the barrage of open letters in the media, the Freedom Front's Dr. Corné Mulder and Peter Groenewald made it clear in national press that they support the speaker and they have full confidence in his management of matters in council. And even before the ink on the bulletin's article about Ms. Subtu's appointment has completely dried, another news report broke. The Mayor's office received correspondence from Minister Anton Brudel on 7 November. Minister Brudel warns that neither Peter Leroux or Jocelyn Subtu, the two acting MMs, were qualified to act as officials. Both do not have the minimum of 5 years' experience at senior management level as required by municipal regulations to act in the MM position. Minister Brudel gave the municipality and the council 7 days to remedy the appointment and the fallout, and also to advise his office thereof. In a similar vein, Minister Brudel warned in a separate correspondence that the correct procedure and protocol were not followed when the MM were released of her duties and when she was placed on special leave, whilst the investigation into alleged misconduct was underway. According to regulations and protocol, a senior official must be informed about the allegations and then be given a 7-day period to submit reasons to council why he or she must not be placed on special leave. The presentation must be tabled at council to deliberate whether the official must be placed on leave. If this is to be the case, the minister's office must be notified of the precautionary suspension. From the minister's directive, it is clear that certain preliminary steps must be taken before a municipal council may exercise discretionary powers to place a senior manager on precautionary suspension. None of these were followed when the Speaker placed the MM on special leave and when he instructed her to vacate her office. She was never given the opportunity, which is her right, to make a written representation to state her case. The Minister gave Swellendam Council 7 days to remedy this issue. The deadline for Council's resolution on how to remedy both instances and provide written response to the Minister's office lapsed on 14 November. All the while, the MM sought legal counsel about being unfairly dismissed and being subjected to procedural irregularities which led to her suspension. Swellendam Council received correspondence from her lawyers to cancel her suspension and to reinstate her in her position by 5 o'clock on 8 November. If this is not done, legal action will follow. The Mayor tried to convene council through the acting MM's office for 8 November 2024. The Speaker, however, was unavailable because of medical reasons. ANC councillors did not avail themselves as they were not given enough notice to attend. The Mayor were granted extension by the MM's legal team to 14 November 2024, which is also the Minister's deadline for remedy. A subsequent meeting was called for 11 November. Again, the Speaker was unavailable due to medical reasons, and all ANC councillors attended a meeting in Cape Town on the day. There were no quorum to constitute the meeting. Another meeting was scheduled for 14 November, the last deadline day. Also, no availability from the Speaker and the ANC councillors. By business close on Thursday, 14 November, the municipality and council, the respondents in the legal case against the municipality, received a summons to appear in the Cape Town High Court on Monday, 18 November 2024, on the matter A. Foster versus Swellendam Municipality and others. Whilst all legal and political issues are being played, it is believed that some capital projects have been placed on hold, and the sign-off on documents by Peter Leroux and Rosalind Saptu may be cancelled, as they were appointed against municipal regulations and protocol. The annual municipal audit is also underway towards the end of November, and with all the political drama, it is unclear how this will impact the audit and the audit results. Rightfully so, the investigation against alleged misconduct of the MM, and possibly some team members as well, continues. In the meantime, the Swellendam Municipality is under political attack. The pillars of council are being destroyed, while the community of Swellendam looks hopelessly on. Word on the street is that the Swellendam Executive Mayor will be facing yet another vote of no confidence in January 2025, and that he may not survive this time around.